Good morning, students. Today we'll learn the story of The Happy Prince. Myself, Neena. The Happy Prince. Author is Oscar Wilde. Let us know something about the author. Oscar Wilde, born on 16 October 1854 and died on 30th November 1900, was an Irish poet and playwright. After writing in different forms throughout the 1880s, he became one of London's most popular playwrights in the early 1890s. He is best remembered for his epigrams and plays. His novel, The Picture of Dorian Gray, as well as the circumstances of his imprisonment and early death. Here comes the summary. The Happy Prince in the story is a statue of a dead prince, decorated with gold leaves and precious stones. The Happy Prince feels sad because he is unable to help the people in misery. Happy Prince decides to help his subjects with gold leaves and precious sapphires and ruby. The little swallow acts as his messenger, distributes all his wealth, sapphires, and ruby. The little swallow was going to Egypt. The Happy Prince persuaded him to stay a night to help the poor. The little swallow could not go back and died due to cold. He lost his life in helping the poor. The swallow's death broke the prince's heart. The mayor and town councillors pulled down the statue because it looked shabby. They melted the statue but could not melt the leaden heart. One day, God asked one of his angels to bring two precious things from the earth, and the angel brought the leaden heart of the Happy Prince and the dead swallow. Character sketch. In this chapter, the prince plays a great role. The prince always remains happy when he was alive, and his courtiers call him Happy Prince and court. After his death, a statue of him was erected at a central place. Statue was ornamented with gold and precious stones. His eyes were started with sapphire. The statue could see the whole city and its measuring. Rich people were enjoying love his life. On the other hand, poor people were suffering and starving. He was moved by seeing the pity condition of his subjects. With the help of Swallow, he tried to help the people. He gave all his gold and precious stones to needy people. He sacrificed his eyes to help playwright and a match girl. He was a kind-hearted and loving prince. Now comes the turn of important question. What are the precious things mentioned in the story and why are they precious? There are two precious things in the story, the prince's leaden heart and the dead swallow. They were both precious because they were kind and selfless. The prince was sad as he saw so many people suffering in his city. He gave away his ruby, sapphires, and all his gold to them. He did not think about himself for once. He was more concerned about the well-being of his people, even though he was dead. The swallow was precious too because it showed kindness by carrying the prince's messages to the poor and deciding to stay back for the prince when he was blind. So he knew that he could not face in winter, which was fast approaching. It actively participated in helping the poor and needy in the city. The swallow was so precious that when it died, and fell down at the prince's feet. The prince's leaden heart broke into two. When God asked one of his angels to bring him the two most precious things in the city, the angel brought him the leaden heart and the dead bird. God said that the little bird would forever sing in his garden of paradise, and the happy prince would praise him in his city of gold.